Welcome back to Dan's Messy Garage. This is going to be part 5 of Betty Gets a Head Job. It's already after 4 in the afternoon, and I'm just now getting started in the garage. I'm going to start with removing some of the stuff from the intake and transferring it to the new intake. This hose. Got the spin on there, but now it doesn't want. There, we got it. Never mind, I got it. Probably should get new hose. Okay. That out of there. Gonna get all these studs out. I think I got everything out of this intake that I need to remove. Got the little fitting that goes to the water temperature gauge. And put some thread sealant on it. Thread it into the intake here. Okay. Got the water fitting here for the heater hose. Same thing. Put some stuff on the threads. And screw it in. I get some bigger heater hose, but that went on there. And then it came back here to a water valve that would turn the heater off when the air conditioning is on. So I think this is ready to go back on the car. I need to change this thermostat gasket here. It's falling apart. Yeah, the gasket's had it. So So I'll get my fancy gasket scraper here. Clean that up. I discovered something nice about these super scraper. If this was a razor blade, I wouldn't be able to be jamming that and hitting my finger like that. This thing doesn't cut you. It's still sharp, and it's taking off that layer of RTV on there. It's doing a good job. Another win for super scrapers. Like I'm going to need to take a trip up to O'Reilly. It's the closest auto parts store to me, because I don't believe I have a gasket for this. Plus I want to get a new bypass hose. It goes from here to the water pump, little 90-degree angle hose. And this looks like it's one of those double-ended deals where you have a 3/4 ID at one end for here, 5/8 ID on the other end for the water pump. That seems to fit on there good with no wobble. Like, it doesn't feel like anything's warped. Time to run up to O'Reilly. And I want to get some 3/4 heater hose too. I'm back from O'Reilly. Got my gaskets and the heater hose and whatever I was up there for. And I thought I'd take this little opportunity to mention a couple things about a thermostat. One, you see that hole I drilled in there? You put that in so that that hole is up. That way, as you're filling the radiator, it lets the air come out of the engine and you don't get any airlocks. The other thing I want to show you is actually what they look like open. This thermostat is closed. Now you can put it in a pot of boiling water with a thermometer and watch it and all that. Another way to do it is just take a heat gun, heat it up, and what's going to happen is that spring-looking thing is going to collapse and pull it open. I'll show you. Of course, this method isn't telling us at what temperature it opens. It's just telling us that the thermostat is good or bad. Okay, it's starting to open now. That spring is compressing or collapsing, or however you want to say it. And it opens it up so that grab something. I can't touch it, so I got to get some pliers or something to grab it with. See, it's open now. You can kind of see through there. But that's what it looks like when they're fully open. And the first part of this segment will show you what it looks like when it's fully closed. I'm sure you're used to seeing them in the closed position, but here's your opportunity to see what they look like when they're open. Now when that cools down, that spring looking thing is going to expand and close it off again. I'm getting ready to put the intake in. I'm going to explain it and then just do it in, time lapse. But on a Ford, it's easy to put intakes. Well, not all Fords. Okay, this Ford, it's easy to put an intake in because the bolts all go straight up and down. So I'm just going to put some longer bolts that the heads are cut off. They're just going to be guide pins to guide the intake straight down onto the engine. Now the outside corners of the heads, there, and there, are water passages through the intake. And I just lied. The front two are water passages. These back here are blocked off on the intake. But there's still water present there. The water may not flow through the intake back here, but it's going to be present there. So I'm going to put some silicone or RTV right stuff around those 4 ports. Drop the gasket down, and I'm going to take a bead of right stuff, RTV silicone. I'm going to put it across here at the front and across the back. These are called China walls. They give you gaskets for that. These would go in here like that, each end of the block. The problem with those is they tend to push out. Then you have massive oil leaks. So a lot of people take these things, throw them away, don't even bother using them. Just put a bead of right stuff here, across there, and I take the intake and I put a bead across the bottoms of the intake too before I drop it on there. And that seals it up really well. So I'm going to get busy. Instead of talking, I'm going to get doing. So I'm going to put you guys on time lapse and get something done here. I forgot to mention something. I'm just going to put, this right stuff around these ports, water ports. You don't have to put anything on the head or the intake in the area where the vacuum ports are. But something you can use, and a lot of people have success with, just put some grease around these ports. That'll help give the gasket a little bit more of a seal against the vacuum leak. So I think I'll smear some grease around the ports and on the intake before I drop it down. Another thing I did, I had that little bypass hose on the front of the intake so that when I dropped it on, I could get it onto the water pump. Saves a lot of grief from putting that hose in later. So now I just have to get all these intake bolts in there. These happen to be ARP bolts. Imagine these things are expensive now too. Before I even get a torque wrench out, I'm just going to go around by hand. I can't even see over there. Just going to kind of snug them all by the same amount. I'm going to look up the torque spec. 25. So I'm going to start with 10-ish. Barely feel this click at 10. 10 is not much torque. Okay, I went round and around and around, got the intake torqued. I started to play with like the throttle bracket, make sure that's going to line up. And just got to make sure other things are going to line up and work, because there's, different heads, different intake on here. Tomorrow I plan to put all the rockers in, figure out which push rods I need to use, valve covers in, carburetor, get everything in and maybe even start it up. But that's going to be the end of this part 5 of Betty Gets a Head Job. Thank you for watching Dan's Messy Garage. Stay tuned to my channel for updates on this project and other projects to come. Bye.